Hello, I am Daisy, and thank you for tuning into my channel. You are in my Learn Tarot playlist, and we have been going through the major arcanas through the Fool's Journey as we're going through each card, learning how the different stages of the Fool's Journey has allowed deeper and deeper understanding on his way towards enlightenment. So, we just finished visiting and dealing with some big issues as we had encountered death. And having done that, death, being totally fair with us, was able to take us to this little ship here and ferry us across to the other side. And as we're back on that journey, we come across the Temperance. We still have ways to go. So what we're going to do and look at is look at as many of the elements as we can on the face of the card so that we can feel comfortable when we are doing a reading. So here, a couple of the things that we see. We'll start off with the number 14. That's the first thing on the deck. And so the number 14 is also a karmic number. And as I mentioned before, it's important that you do a little background on numerology, just some of the basic vibrations between the numbers 0 and 9. And usually those books or websites that you'll find that they'll even make references to additional numbers that will let you understand. And I would say definitely go through the numbers all the way up to 33, because 11, 22 are master numbers. And then you've got 12, 13, and 14 are karmic numbers. So these are numbers that, if they're in our lives, let's say if you're doing a birth chart for yourself, or you have done birth charts for yourself, you'll find out that these numbers specifically bring with them a vibration that puts us into challenges, that really pushes us to grow and push through things. So number 14 was one of those, just like number 13. So number 14 is definitely a number that brings in chaos for growth. And when you take that number 14 and you break it down to 4 and 1, the 1 and the 4 for the 14, that gives you a new number and the vibration of number 5. And the vibration of number 5 is about independence. It's about freedom, and it's about learning and being aware of the changes that come in life. So that's what we draw out of that. So then also to learn is that temperance is associated with the zodiac Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is a fire sign. So we have all those other elements as well, as far as what does the representation of those fire elements being mutable. So it's all really about that third aspect. When we talk about those elements, we can also break it down to the cardinals, the fixed, and the mutables. Sagittarius happens to be a fire mutable, and with that being that it's a mutable, it comes in towards the latter part, and it is ready for transformation. It's ready to move on. It's ready to, hey, this is done. Let's go ahead. If we're not going to keep adding more to it, I'm ready to keep growing and expanding. So the mutable signs are about, let's work with things as long as we can, but if not, let's go ahead and keep moving on. Let's keep moving forward. So that's an element that temperance brings to the table and to your reading as well. And also the aspect that Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. And by being ruled by Jupiter, it's bringing in all that aspects of abundance, about wisdom. Jupiter influences Sagittarius for higher learning and the angelic realms. And so all these other things that we have, and probably that is why I'm driven, because I'm a Sagittarian. So I'm driven towards, sharing about angels and sharing about higher learning and all this other stuff. So it's like it's coded inside of me. So I'm really excited to share temperance with you. So I'm a little bit more excited with this card. Okay, so one of the aspects that we also are bringing is that as well. So the aspect of Jupiter is coming in and playing into this card as well. And so understanding then, if you understand that this is Sagittarius, And so the fire sign, well, fire sign, it brings in the archangel Michael, and the cardinal points south. So just little things. And if you're looking for time frames, because it's Sagittarius, we're looking more of that autumn time period, or that season of fall for someone. You're at this season of your life. So those are the elements that we're looking at just by knowing that temperance is associated with Sagittarius. And then when you know the zodiac and the astrological implications that Jupiter is connected with Sagittarius, and you know the time frames, it gives you so much to bring to the reading, right? Okay, so let's jump into some of the elements that we see on the deck, and one of them being the angel. Wow, a beautiful angel. One of the things that I noticed is that the wings are extending out of the card. It means your past and your future. It means everything on this journey is being accounted for. We want moderation in everything, in your whole life, not just in one aspect. So temperance is bringing that to the table for us to know the need of moderation in every aspect of our life, not just one. The other thing that we see here is, it's interesting because one of the things that I always pick up is because this is the card that I use when I'm doing like my regular readings here. And so you'll notice that on this particular card, and that's one thing that I mentioned throughout this tutorial, is look at your cards and draw from the card whatever element. And one of the things, if you notice, I've mentioned across, is look at the elements if you're using different decks, because what you'll see in one deck may be missing in the other. You'll see different colors while they may seem like it's the same theme, right? So I'm going to draw your attention to the breastplate on this particular deck, and it's because it's a predominant deck that I like to use. So I'm going to share the symbology on that, and the way that it could be interpreted could be, is this referring to the balance between spirit and material world? Is this the Holy Trinity, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit? Is this mind, body, and soul? And as it's encompassed in this life experience on earth, or is this about bringing heaven to earth? Is it about working with the elements that we're seeing her or him, mixing with the cups? So is that one of the issues that we can look at here? Or is it when you take a look at the four squares or angles on the square, and then the 3 angles of the rectangle gives you the number 7. So we bringing in aspects of numerology, and that's really about total capturing that divinity, capturing that higher knowledge, or that perfect balance between heaven and earth. So let's go back to this bigger card deck, and we'll jump back and forth in between the both so you can kind of see the differences between this deck and this deck, okay? So as we're looking at the cups here, what we're seeing is the need to keep things in motion, the need to keep things balanced as you're working with things, because there's always new things presenting themselves, and it's an overgoing. You have a sense that this motion is not stopping. It's not like, hey, we're finished. No, this motion is continuing. So every day we must seek to balance things out in every aspect, between relationships, between work, between health, between mind, emotions, physical being. All these things we must keep in balance. The other aspect that we see here, it's one foot is on the land while the other foot is on the water. And this is also reflection about the subconsciousness in the water, all the stuff in our emotions, the subconscious connection with what's on land. So it's very, very subtle, but yet this person, the fool, is finally understanding what it's like to be in that harmonious balance with heaven and earth, and balancing that duality and the aspects of that, right? So the other thing that we are aware that while we have stopped here for a little bit, the path continues. And we saw that path. We didn't see the path before clearly, but the fool has really come a long way. He has really learned a lot. I mean, from the innocence of enjoying the time with the Empress to passing through justice and then death. And then coming back here, now we see the sun, still light there, the enlightenment. We see the path much clearer. We are now on the other side, but the journey is not over. So the other thing that we see is the sun rays indicating that holiness, you know, the holiness that is there. Sorry, I thought I was holding this card. So we do see the sun here reflecting the holiness of our goal, and that goal that is within reach now. And one of the things that a lot of people talk about is all that wisdom in that subconsciousness that was held back here. We have access to it. It is not being held back anymore because it was here with the Empress. She was at the gates, and we see behind her is all that water. But now we are there. The Fool has made it there, and now it's really knowing that combination of working all those things and bringing all that work into it and all that play and feeling that harmony of mind, health, and body. It's really wonderful. So now, how would we interpret this in a reading? How would we relay this message in a reading? When it's right side up, it really is about that you're at this place right now that you need to learn how to balance things in your life. You need to bring that harmony into your life. You have all these things at your disposable, and do not get caught in any illusion or little fairy tale dreams or fantasying. No, you have this at your fingertip. Trust and begin to put that into play. Bring that into harmony. It is about bringing healing into your life and having this established way of life that you can heal yourself from within, because you have access to this and you can use it, and you can bring that emotional healing and balance into your life. Okay? So just have patience with yourself. You can do that. So then how does this apply when we read this card upside down? So now in the reverse, this is about probably you are coming through, something's happening in your life, you're out of balance, you're maybe overindulging on things, and it is what's got you off of balance as well. Maybe you're unhappy, maybe you have going through some mood swings, and that something's happening in your life that you just really finding yourself that you can't control that, but you need to find the balance and begin to create that harmony in yourself. And also it could be that there are some things that are coming up, and mostly that you are not in control of your emotions, and it's time to harness that and find balance in that. So after obtaining that balance, that harmony, and all this wisdom, and really feeling good that you've achieved this, that you've gone through so much, and you're resting here, it will soon be time to move on. But guess what? Possibly. Who knows? Because just when things are going really good, the Fool may have to deal with temptations. Let's find out how to overcome that in the next video.